Good morning. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. Our Torah portion, VaYechi, instructs us in how to face death. We see Yaakov, our patriarch, facing death, and he teaches us many lessons about it. We all fear death. Some of us more than others, especially because no one of us knows what it's like. What does it feel like? No one of us knows that. I certainly don't know. But allow me to share with you two vignettes. A few years ago, a terrible tragedy occurred in New York. A drunk driver hit a car. Several people were seriously injured, and one young woman, Liel Namdar, tragically was killed in this accident. Her parents and her three brothers suffered a trauma we cannot begin to imagine. A few days later, she was buried in Israel. And at the burial, her father told this story. He said that shortly after hearing the news, Liel's mother and brothers laid in her bed at home to be able to smell her from sleeping there the night before. And they were sobbing. And eventually, they fell asleep in Liel's bed. The next morning, one of her brothers woke and told his grieving family that he had had a dream in the previous night. And in his dream, he saw his sister Liel. She was dressed all in white. There was so much light surrounding her, he couldn't even see her face. And she said to him, her brother, in this dream, "Tell everyone to stop crying. I am doing amazing. I am happy. No more crying." I don't know exactly what that means. I'm just telling you what this man, Effie Namdar, said at his daughter's funeral. Now let me share a passage from the Talmud. Two of the great scholars that are mentioned many, many times in the Talmud, one is called Rava, and the other is Rav Nachman, mentioned, dozens, hundreds of times in the Talmud, great, great Talmudic scholars. The Talmud tells the following story that Rava came to visit Rav Nachman at the end of his life. And Rav Nachman was about to pass away. And so Rava said to him, "I want to ask you for a favor before you die. After you die, I want you to appear to me in a dream. Come back to me in a dream." So Rav Nachman died. And a few days later, Rav Nachman appeared to Rava in a dream, and they had the following conversation. Rava said to Rav Nachman, "Did you suffer pain?" And Rav Nachman, his neshama, his soul, in this dream, answered him and said, as little as the taking of a hair from a cup of milk. And were the Holy One, blessed be he, say to me, go back to that world as you were, I would not wish it. For the fear of death is great. What we see in our Torah portion, VaYechi, is a man preparing for the end of his life, our patriarch Yaakov. And we see that he does so by instructing his children, by understanding the nature of the life that he lived, by cementing his eternal connection to Israel, by instructing that he be buried there, by ensuring his legacy through his children and his descendants through the ages, up to and including us, you and me. We learn all this from Yaakov in our Torah portion, how to live the last years and days of our life. So, let me distill this with a poem. I've shared this with many of you before, but it's something that I need to repeat for myself, and perhaps it's valuable for others to be reminded of it again. This is a poem that carries the ultimate message each of us should take from this week's Torah portion. It's a poem by Mario Andrade, a Brazilian poet of the early 20th century. The title of the poem is The Valuable Time of Maturity. I counted my years and discovered that I have less time to live from here on out than what I have lived until now. I feel like that kid who won a pack of sweets. The first ones he ate with pleasure. But when he realized there were few left, he began to taste them intensely. I no longer have time for endless meetings where statutes, rules, procedures, and internal regulations are discussed, knowing that nothing will be achieved. I no longer have time to support dumb people who, despite their chronic age, haven't grown up. My time is too short. I want the essence. My soul is in a hurry. I don't have many sweets in the package left. I want to live next to very humane people who know how to laugh at their mistakes and who are not inflated by their triumphs and who take on their own responsibilities. This is how you defend human dignity and move towards truth and honesty. It's the essential that makes life worth living. I want to surround myself with people who know how to touch hearts, people who have been taught to grow up with gentle touches of their soul. Yes, I'm in a hurry. I'm rushing to live with the intensity that only maturity can give. I don't mean to waste any of the leftover sweets. I'm sure these will be delicious, a lot more than the ones I've eaten so far. My goal is to reach a satisfied and peaceful end with my loved ones and with my conscience. We have two lives, and the second one starts when you realize you only have one. My friends, I wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. in person.